And this allows me and will allow you to do one thing, and that's doing what you like.
You always want to focus on your strengths.
There's actually no way for me to actually give the same attention to the $1 million client and to the $500 million client.
Okay, so right now, me and my brother are working on some really management things. We are working on really structuring and making the kind of the way we're taking in clients right now more efficient, so that we understand the client better, we understand their needs, their KPIs, their goals, we understand what we need to do and what can we do stuff and strategy with, like what videos do they have, conversion assets, all those things. So we're gonna work on that right now, and then the rest of the day, I'm not sure exactly, haven't looked at my schedule that deep, but for now, let's do this. So let's rock. So here's what I was thinking. Because this last couple of days and weeks I've been really working hard with my management team, with my brother, with Andre, with the management team to kind of like get the SOPs in the company, make everything work smoothly, kind of like create systems and processes from everything that we're doing, so that we can take in more clients, we can take in more people, we can train them and not actually need our personal time. This is essentially what makes a business worth something, not the people in them, but the systems. I mean, the people as well, but if I leave the company, if my top people leave the company, like what is the company left with? Nothing if there's no systems. But if there's systems, then you have power and leverage off of that, because you can get more people into that, train them, and they're essentially good to go. So here's what I'm thinking. If you're trying to build a business, if you're trying to do really anything and scale it, you need to think about how can you take what you're doing and actually document that in a way that's checklist oriented, step-by-step oriented, so that you can take those things and actually have other people able to do what you do or parts of what you do, so that you can focus on what you love most. And this allows me and will allow you to do one thing, and that's doing what you like and doing what you're good at. Because I think the biggest mistake to do when you're trying to either work in a company or build a company is trying to do just so many things, just trying to get good at so many things, which is literally impossible. You cannot be the designer, the web developer, the strategist, the creative person, and the manager at the same time. It's just impossible. You just gotta do one of those things really, really well, and you're off to go, and you essentially have the best asset you can have just by doing that one thing. So by working on these systems, or by your management team working on these systems, you can give them the idea, you will kind of like leverage people's times better, and you will allow them to work on their strengths and what they like. Now, finding what you like and finding your strengths is another discussion. My 2 cents on that right now would be essentially, first, look at what you're curious about. Second, look at what you really learn faster in, and third it would essentially be what is exactly that you're doing that you would be able to do it, and the doing of the work is the reward itself, not the money, not the fame, not anything else. Just like doing the work is the work itself. The painter painting the painting. When he's doing that, when she or he is doing that, that's the reward itself. Not selling it, not getting rewards off of it, anything else. And that's what makes it great. When the writer goes and writes a book, when he or she writes it because it, like the work doing that by itself is the reward, that's when it succeeds. When he or she is trying to like please other people or just thinks all the time like, what those people will think if I would write this or that. If they would do that, the book would be a lot worse than it would be when they would be focusing on just doing their work and doing that. This is true with anyone. You will see a lot of writers that have written their first book. It went crazy. It was amazing. Then after their bestsellers hit, they couldn't do the same things with the next books because they were now thinking about what people will think of them. The same thing with cinematographers and producers and all these people that produce movies. When they do the movies kind of for themselves, they succeed. But when they think of like, what people will think of this, I see these as valuable, people don't, and all those things, like that's when they fail. So anyway, kind of a tangent here. That's how I see finding your strengths and how finding what you like goes. With that being said, thank you so much for watching today's vlog. We're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go back and finish some things. It's I think 9:30 p.m. right now. There's nobody in the office anymore, and I have I think 1 more hour, and I'm gonna go home, get some rest, come back tomorrow. Cheers. There's actually a tremendous power into trusting your intuition and being attuned with yourself and actually going after what you want from that perspective. And I think it's beautiful because when you go on the instinct, intuition,